Let's add to that, if you have businesses that are in close proximity to the masjid, but they were erected with the understanding of what? Of providing a service for the community, providing a service for the community, for an individual to make money for them and their families, right? But to also what? To provide jobs for members of the community, to provide jobs for members of the community who will also entail what? Turn around and spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also who will allocate a certain portion of money, be it in pledges or whatever the case is, to help fund and maintain the masjid, to help fund and maintain the masjid, where they said, okay, yani, I'm going to give a percentage, yani, to the masjid to take care of the upkeep and whatever expenses the masjid may have, so that we could assure the sustainability of the masjid. So the masjid never has to worry about going bankrupt, or has to never worry about not being able to afford any. No, because the community collectively, all these businesses have come together and said, no, we're going to help fund to make sure the masjid stays here. And this is the understanding. So this is what I mean when I say collecting the collection of wealth and pulling of our resources that will benefit present and future communities. So if we have a system in place where businesses are giving fi sabilillah, where the masjid goes into a situation where perhaps its entity could be an owner of some of these businesses, or in some of these lots where they can rent out to Muslim businesses, right? So they're getting income from that passively, so on and so forth, right? Then this can go to the maintenance of the masjid. So now the masjid is not being funded solely by what? By the sadaqah box, as many masajid are. If the people give, alhamdulillah. If they don't give, the masjid can't pay his bills. They can't afford to pay for the water. They can't afford to pay for the electric. This is not an ideal situation. This is a situation that you can see could come to an end one day. Why? Because the system is not put in place where our wealth and resources are gathered and collected to benefit present and future generations, right? So when you have a community, this is what you have. When you have a community, this is what you have. When you have a community, your money will circulate within that community before it leaves to go outside. Okay? So, example, if the masjid owns houses, right? The masjid owns houses that it rents out to the Muslims of that area. So now the Muslims of that area, they have a house that is in close proximity to the masjid. That Muslim family is going to pay their rent. They pay their rent to the masjid. The masjid in turn is going to use the money that comes in from things like that, and then now they're going to pay for their expenses. So that it being in the case of bills, that helps and it benefits the community, right? That can be in paying salaries for the imam, the teachers, so on and so forth, right? The teachers in the masjid, the imam, the muezzin, so on and so forth. So now that money comes from the Muslims who live in the house, right? Who are renting this house, to the masjid, Muslims, right? To pay the Muslims who work in that facility, Muslims. So it went from the Muslims to the Muslims to the Muslims, right? Then in turn, those Muslims, because we have a community, will now go and buy bread from the local bakery that is owned by Muslims. So now it goes again now to the Muslims, right? Or they will go to the local supermarket and buy produce and things like that from there. So now it goes to the Muslims. Or they will go to the local Muslim mechanic and use that money to pay to fix their cars, so on and so forth. So now again, that goes to the Muslims. Now it went from those Muslims, and they may they have these same needs, so they need to buy groceries and so on and so forth as well. So they're gonna go to the bakery. So you see it now circulating inside of our community, where the money is circulating inside our community, benefiting our community before what? Before it leaves our community to go into the hands of a non-Muslim who has whatever business. You understand? But look how long it circulated in our community first and benefited. Okay, then it went out. And this is how things work. This is how things work. But we want to have a community where we can have that, where our money can come into it and benefit, then go out. As opposed to right now. Right now, we get money and what? It comes and it goes right out. It goes straight out. Our check comes straight out. Other people benefiting from it, right? It comes and we go to the grocery store. owned by kuffar. So it comes in straight out to the kuffar. Okay. It comes in, we go to the bakery, owned by the kuffar, straight to the kuffar. Comes in, it goes to the mechanic, owned by the kuffar, straight to the kuffar. Subhanallah. We're paying our rent and to the kuffar, and it goes what? Straight to the kuffar. Straight to the kuffar. How are we gonna, how are we gonna win? How are we gonna win if that's our situation, where you have other communities, non-Muslim communities, that their money circulates within their community, benefit, then leave. Our money leaves immediately. How we, How are we gonna compete? Allah musta'an. Anyway.